Hello and welcome to the Boomtown Hoops postgame show. I'm your host, Bobby Howard. With me today, Jesse Post here. And believe it or not, we kind of almost won this one. Ignore what happened yesterday. That did not happen. But this, the Thunder really played a pretty close game here. Jesse, I know you saw, obviously, all of us saw the mess that was last night's game against the Indiana Pacers. How welcome is this improvement over last night's disaster?
Yeah, I mean, you and I had kind of discussed maybe doing a show for each game, and then we had settled on just doing one tonight. I think we absolutely picked correctly. We had the nice little push at the end of the game tonight, even though we couldn't get it done. The Saturday night game, though, I don't even think you can, pinpoint one thing that went wrong. It was just we kept steamrolling in the wrong direction. So Saturday was a hot mess, but tonight was pretty fun.
Yeah, and it was one of those games where everyone played well. We didn't have a standout where you can point to one guy and be like, they were on fire. They really led us tonight, which is totally fine because, you have a lot of, double-digit performances. Everyone really chipped in. But in the inverse, everyone was bad on Saturday. It was a disaster. It was unwatchable. I'm not going to lie. We had already decided to not do that game. So me and a couple friends went out, went to a local taco shop. They weren't even showing the game. They're showing the Clippers game. That's how bad it was. That is how bad that game was. They refused to put it on the TVs. But this was remarkable. It was a fun, entertaining, watchable game that really, weirdly enough, went down to the wire. The Suns really almost bungled it away. If Lou Dort made that last 3-point attempt a little bit more, if he made it look like a foul a little bit more, that could have swung Oklahoma City's way. But ultimately, just a really good game. So I love it. The comment section loving Teo Maladone. So Jesse, your thoughts on our guy Teo tonight?
Yeah, really solid performance. I think he had 18 points. We saw him get the rookie record in threes. He passed Alex Abrinas, so that was fun. And I think that just kind of tied into this game being fun. We did have the little run at the end. Teo was a part of that. So yeah, he was definitely one of the guys who, it wasn't outstanding, but very, very solid night. And I think he looked good.
Yeah, absolutely. 18 points. Of course, 3 of those points were on that buzzer beating, last second garbage time 3 that cut it to 3 with 0.1 seconds left. Literally can't do anything with that. But you know what? With Maladone, it was just a really solid game. We've seen this progression from him where he's just been, it hasn't been a leaps and bounds sort of thing like we've seen with Poku, but he's gotten better in small increments. His feel for the game is just so remarkable. I love having him out there. That really is probably one of Presti's best picks of all time, without a doubt. So I want to bring up Gabriel Deck. Third game, I feel like he's finally starting to get in the rhythm. He has a really cool feel for the offense. The way he just gets into these passing lanes and really gets out on the break is just remarkable. 11 points, 6 rebounds. Your thoughts on the Argentinian so far?
I pretty much liked him straight away. I think it's all hustle, and of course I'm going to enjoy that. I think in the first couple games, he just met the guys. He just started playing. I think we're already starting to see him mesh a little bit better. So I think all good things. And I think it was a solid game tonight.
Yeah, I love it. And I think he's a guy you keep on long-term, even if he doesn't fit your, future mold, because he is definitely a little bit older than your typical, project. But you keep him on board. If he really is something good, you try to flip him for more assets. And I think that's great. And he's really getting a feel for a game for a guy who, as I've mentioned, was stuck in the cold curd for 2 weeks. So good on my guy, Gabriel Deck Tortuga, who I still honestly think has the coolest nickname in Thunder history. I can't think of a better one. Maybe the Slim Reaper, but he didn't even like that one. So
That's true.
That's true. We have a really, really interesting question here. Jesse, who would you prefer to be the future backup to Shea? Teo Maladone or Ty Jerome?
Man, this isn't even like a hit at Teo. I just think Ty Jerome looked great tonight. And I feel like I end up saying that a lot of nights. And I even overlook Ty Jerome myself. So I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely interested to see what Teo can turn out to be. But if I had to like pick right now, I think it would be Ty Jerome. But then again, we've already seen progress with Teo. Like I think there were a couple shots tonight that beginning of the season he wouldn't have even have taken. So we are seeing growth there, but I would probably pick Ty Jerome.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think Teo is a type of guy who you play with the first teamers. He's not. I don't think he's a starting two for you, but he's one of those guys who you play in like a guard heavy type of lineup. I don't see him as like a true backup in the sense that he's not going to play. I don't think you put Teo in to play like 10 minutes. You put him in to play like a good 18. And Jerome, I feel like, is a guy who, I mean, he's a type. I would have loved to have him on that Russell Westbrook team in 2016. The do what I want year. We imagine what that team would have done just with Ty Jerome instead of Samaj Christian, which this team has so many good bench players that I would have loved in on different teams that don't really constitute like a fantastic Thunder team, but I would have loved to see them in positions where we really could have, really could compete. And Jerome is a guy who I just really, really enjoy watching him play basketball. But if I had to pick one to really be that, second point guard, it would be definitely Teo Maladone. But it's kind of cheating to say that I would like both. Jerome's definitely more of a backup to me than Maladone in the sense that he's a rotational guy. I think the NBA is moving towards very guard heavy, very rotational. So, hey, Wash is out here shouting out your Lutang, the Lutang clan shirt. Love it. That's pretty great. And Sean mentioned, the 3-guard closing lineup. I like that. Also, shout out Jalen Green. Oh, everyone's thirsting for Jalen Green, and I don't know why. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter the other day. Thunder Twitter was just randomly, thirst trapping for Jalen Green. I don't get it. I mean, guy looks cool. I like him. He's athletic, but I'm all for it. I love any of those top 4 guys for sure. So, Jesse, have you seen much of Jalen Green?
And honestly, as far as like anything that's happened on Twitter recently after that Saturday game, I kind of ducked out for a little bit. So if it happened recently, I definitely missed it.
I don't blame you. It was tough. We've gotten to the point where like Seattle's dancing on us, and I'm like, we have a basketball team. Get out of here. Like, we're happy to be here. Like we want this. You can't make fun of us. We want this. Anyways, let's take a look at Lou Dort. Not a great night, 4 for 19, 2 for 9 from 3. Just a little disappointing. He's been on and off. Do you think his lack of consistency in terms of minutes have kind of been getting to him in the sense that he hasn't, really strung a lot of games together?
Hard to say. I mean, I don't think we'll ever really know. I would kind of lean yes. But I mean, just because like he's played 1, he's played 2, then he's been out, and it has not been consistent since he came back from the concussion stuff. So, I mean, I think it would be hard to get into any type of rhythm.
Yeah, which is fair. I can't say I played a lot of basketball. My peak was in 5th grade. I was a pretty solid center. But again, 5th grade. I think I fouled out. I think I fouled out of the championship game one time. That was the peak of my performance. So I'm not exactly the genius when it comes to basketball. But I imagine it's tough to get in that rhythm, and I don't really know if that's the point here. We're deep into this tank season here. But you know what? Well, I'll take it. Wash brought up an interesting point. He really focused more on the defensive end, which Chris Paul didn't have a huge game. We've seen how he is. He's not really a big point guy. Devin Booker, 32 points. What are you going to do about that? Book's been incredible.
Right.
So I got to ask, with a lot of love for Chris Paul on Twitter for the Thunder, if you and the Thunder have been eliminated, what is the one NBA team that is going to be in the playoffs that you're rooting for down the stretch?
I mean, it's the Suns.
It's got to
It's
be
the
Phoenix.
Suns. Yeah. So, I mean, as much as like earlier in the season, I was like, I want to win. Like, there's really no point now. I think now more than ever, we have to keep our eye on the prize. Maybe not to like the extent of what happened on Saturday night. Like, I don't know how we didn't get fined after that.
Honestly,
I really don't, you know? So at this point, like us winning this one tonight, there really wasn't a point, but there was a pretty big point for the Suns. I know they're really close to being number one. So if I have to pick, I'm going to go with them.
I like Phoenix in the West. They're just fun. They were a good time in the bubble where they went 8-0.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, obviously, Monty Williams. You just have so many cool Oklahoma City connections. They're just a fun team to root for. Absolutely. I also love the Wizards. I don't know how far they're going to get because of the play-in situation, but I tell you, Russ is on a tear there. It's so enjoyable to watch him just really go all out. I got to ask, Isaiah Roby, not a bad game, 11 points. What do you think about Roby's performance as of late?
So he's one of those that's kind of touch and go for me. I do think these past couple, he has been playing a little bit better. I am really hard on him, though. I think we've seen some turnover troubles. But overall tonight, I thought it was a pretty decent outing. I guess I'm still just wondering what's going on with Moses Brown. I get whenever we play small that like he wouldn't be your first option, but playing against Ayton like that, I think he played 31 minutes and Moses maybe played half of that. So, I mean, I like that Roby's getting minutes, but I just have questions there.
Yeah, and he was frustrating with a minus 15, significantly the lowest performing player on the Thunder there. But I will say offensively, it really it covers up a lot of warts. But really he needs to get better at defending down low, and Aiden's tough. That's a tough assignment. But it's whatever. It's Isaiah Roby. The fact that we've gotten so much production out of him has been an absolute dream for the Thunder so far. So I'll take it. Well, Moses Tank first option. Moses, get better, buddy. That's tough. Because that was the thing with the Suns is like you can't overpower them and you can't go too small because they're going to beat you on the small ball lineup. This team's just not very. That's just the beauty of the Suns right now. They're just a really, really good team right now. So what are we going to do? Anyways, next up, Tuesday, the Sacramento Kings in Oklahoma City. We're playing them 3 times in the next 7 games. Do you think we're going to get some wins here?
I'm almost like afraid to say that I want that because like I said, I mean, there's not really a point to it now. I would think out of playing them 3 times, we've got to at least get 1. I am curious to see who all we rest and whatnot, or who's injured, however you want to word it. But
who's injured?
Yeah, whoever is injured for that game. So those 3 are definitely going to be interesting. I don't know if it'll be like interesting in a good way, though.
It's the Kings are just really one of those organizations that I don't know where they're going. I don't know how to work your way up. De'Aaron Fox has been really, really good, but like it's one of those things where the players on that roster make sense, but they just never actually do it. And it was so funny seeing that tweet the other day where they tweeted at the Thunder when we were getting just pummeled. Where they said it's going to get better. I'm like, how do you know? You haven't made the playoffs in since we've been a team. Get out of here, Kings.
I'm like, it's not a good time. Like, literally leave me alone.
Don't console me, Sacramento.
Right.
Just go watch some highlights from 2002. watch Chris Webber and Vlade Divac. Get out of here. Get out of here, sons. Nobody wants you here. Well, so I feel like I want to see this just because of how things have been. We got to do the tankathon because if you take an L, you got to look for better tomorrows. So let's hope we get something good real quick. I'm not going to analyze it too much. Billy Donovan at least got the number 1, so he's happy. We get the 6. That's a bummer.
That's a bummer.
Every time I do tankathon on these streams, we're always garbage. It's never fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always looking for optimism. It's always sad. But do we have a Gabriel Deck song? I wish we did.
I kind of like him more like initially than I think I should. So I'm trying to like back off on that a little bit because it's literally only been 3 games. But like initial response, I do like him. So
he plays hard. He plays like a guy who's been playing in Europe for which he has for years and really wants to make this his shot. And I love that about him. And I'm with you. I'm rooting for him. I definitely am the type of guy who is like Moses Brown is like our center for the future after 2 good games. So
I was too.
We all were. That's what you have to cling on to in a season like this.
Yeah.
Oh, Halliburton got hurt. That's not good. Prayers up to Tyrese Halliburton. Something about Isaiah Roby. Muscala's injury. Where is Muscala? Is he in like the Phantom Zone or something? Is this just like a fake Mike Muscala out here sitting on the bench? Why can't we play Mike Muscala? It's not going to hurt the tank that much. No offense to Mike.
I know. I hate just seeing him sit over there because, I mean, I would like to think that he wants to play. So, I don't know. The whole thing's odd. And like, it's just never came up again. They listed it as an ankle injury and like, that's it. But
I want to see that beautiful Super Mario Brothers tattoo back on the court.
Yes.
I miss it. Watch one more question. What's your opinion on Al not staying with the team? Are you for it? Are you against it? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's hard to say. Like, they said that they had agreed that he would not play, but you don't really know. I mean, if he wanted to play or not. So on the off chance that he didn't want to just sit out the whole second half of the season, and we were like, this is what we're doing anyways, I can't say I really blame him. I mean, you would want him to stick around, but also, like, how can you blame him?
Just as long as he doesn't get hurt or, like, so out of shape that we can't trade him, I'm okay with it. That's my take on it. But it's the end of the season. We have 7 games left. Go to the Bahamas, man. It's COVID. It's been a tough year for every NBA player, particularly the ones who are in the bubble. Go have fun, man. Come on. It's all good. I'm fine with that.
What did you think of the SGA update or non-update that they gave us?
Yeah, we had a really good one from Sean here mentioned that. It's like they're like, yeah, we'll give you an update in 2 weeks. They forgot about it. And
and then we were like, hey guys, SGA, and they were like, oh, well,
he's progressing or something.
He's fine. Yeah,
he's fine. I'm not surprised. It's incredibly funny. It is incredibly funny, but it's also incredibly predictable. But that doesn't make it any less funny to me. So I love it. Shay, take a breather. I'm with you. We talked. I'm with you on one thing though. We talked about this a couple shows ago. That we want to see Shay at least one more time. I would love that. I miss watching him play basketball. I really do. And Sean, they can't even keep their fake injuries straight, which is true. But Jesse, we've talked probably a little too much for 2 games that didn't amount to a ton. But hey, it's fun hanging out on a Sunday night. We don't have a lot of games left, but it was a good time. So Jesse, any final thoughts before we head out?
I'm just glad we made the little push at the end, and this one was much more competitive than Saturday night.
At least it was watchable basketball. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a win in my book.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, thanks to all of you for watching us, hanging out with us tonight. Always a good time getting your comments, getting your questions. And Danilo Gallinari. Look, y'all watched it. We got to at least give it to you. So playing y'all out with some Gallinari. Y'all have a good night. Thunder up. Have a good week. And the